And when you talk to people who run marathons, there's a couple comments that you'll sometimes hear. One of them is that it's a lot of work to do for a free banana and a free bagel, which is true. It is a lot of work to do for a free banana. And the other things you'll often hear at the starting line is it seemed like a really good idea 10 months ago when I signed up for this. And I've seen some bling and some folks with jerseys and stuff, so I imagine some of you have kind of experienced that. But we're about 10 months out, so I think it's a good time to kind of figure out what we're signing up for with the Mercy Health Glass City Marathon and to share some exciting news with you today. And that's a good thing because we really should be outside and enjoying this beautiful day as we do this. The Mercy Health Glass City Marathon has a more than 40-year history in the Toledo area. And in a moment, you'll hear from both organizers and participants of the race about the growth of the event. And as they talk, it should become really clear why Mercy Health is once again joining forces to ensure that this iconic race lives on in Northwest Ohio. When we first announced our partnership with the Toledo Roadrunners in 2015, we committed to engaging our community in the sport of running and to providing medical support to participants. Now, 3 years later, the marathon has celebrated its largest and most successful event to date. And Mercy Health is so proud to have been there at the starting and finish lines, as well as along the route. And I think the marathon this year, the half marathon, were fully subscribed, completely sold out. And in visiting with folks at the event, we had over 80 people who helped support that event from start to finish, tents, for medical care and things along the way. And so I'm really pleased to share with you that today we are again making a promise to our community to support their health and well-being by committing to a continued partnership with the Roadrunners and to serve as the sponsor for the event. Together we will bring you yet another Mercy Health Glass City Marathon, a race that celebrates its 43rd year in 2019. Running has certainly become a popular sport both nationwide and around the world. In fact, just 2 weeks ago, I was proud to hold the banner that welcomed a man from Canada and a woman from Dayton as they crossed the finish line. And I think one of the wonderful things about running is that anyone can do it. Strap on a pair of shoes, find an open road, find a bike trail, find a park, and you have the opportunity to do it. It doesn't take special access to facilities or anything like that. And it really is that journey of training that helps improve the quality of life, health, and wellness. And that's one of the real joys. And although you may ache at the end, there's nothing more satisfying than crossing the finish line and accomplishing the goals that you've set out for yourself. And of course, it's a runner the caliber of Evan Gaynor, who is a multiple winner of marathons. It really showcases what the Mercy Health Glass City Marathon is all about. Evan grew up right here in Northwest Ohio, trains here and he wins here. And in a moment, you'll be hearing from Evan. But an event such as the Mercy Health Glass City Marathon reaches well beyond just the positive impact it has on its participants. Organizers right here in our community can offer needed services and programs thanks to the money donated through the marathon's nonprofit fundraising efforts. Mercy Health Children's Hospital has been a charitable recipient for the past 3 years and will continue to offer life-saving and life-changing services to our youngest patients thanks to the marathon. As you can see, the marathon has many legs, pun intended, for us at Mercy Health. This is an event is also a time to give back. In particular, I would really like to recognize the various teams that work year-round and especially on race day to make sure the runners in our areas are ready for the 26.2 miles of asphalt. As I mentioned, we had over 80 people supporting the marathon this year. Mercy Health Emergency Medicine and Orthopedics and Sports Medicine teams provided medical support throughout the race course. Athletic trainers, nurses, physicians, and physical therapists volunteer their time to ensure that all runners can safely enjoy their accomplishments. I'd also like to thank members of the Mercy Health Police Department that help provide security on race day, which is no small task, I can promise you, and those throughout the organization who show up early to ensure that water stops are manned, medals are awarded, and hungry runners are fed. It takes commitment from many to make something like this to happen, and Mercy Health is honored and proud to be part of it and to be a sponsor for it. So we'll be looking for all of you on the starting line Sunday, April 28th, 2019. Mark your calendars. And I'm challenging all runners to make this the largest of our marathon crowds to date. Thank you for joining us today, and now I'd like to introduce Clint McCormick, the race director for the Mercy Health Glass City Marathon. Please join me in welcoming Clint.
All right, thank you, Bob. This day certainly hasn't come by chance, but rather a true shared vision towards helping Toledo and Northwest Ohio become a better self. I'd like to start off by saying a big thank you to the whole Mercy Health family, all of you out there who helped put us together, but specifically I'm going to call out two people, Tara Linker from Mercy in the marketing team, as well as Julie Champa, our Director of Community Relations with the Roadrunners. These ladies make my job look easy, so thank you to those two ladies. To talk about how we arrived here today, I thought it would be relevant to share with you a little bit about the road we have traveled. 10 years ago, the Roadrunners Club embarked on a mission to change the trajectory of this signature event in one of the oldest marathons in the country. What has been a decade of vision, renewed energy, hard work, and strategic partnerships brings us to where we are today. That vision includes creating an event that fits the size of our region, developing strong partnerships with like-minded nonprofits, bringing awareness to youth running, and working with area businesses and developing corporate wellness programs. If I go back 10 years to the first expo that I worked in Indianapolis, I found I spent the whole trip explaining where the Glass City was, and that yes, we do have a marathon here in Toledo. That in fact is older than Chicago's marathon, Detroit, Columbus, and Cleveland. So through this experience, we were able to develop a strong campaign to attract runners and their families to the Toledo area, riding a national trend in the half marathon distance, which we've sold out consecutively, I believe, for 10 years now. This year, over 4,000 of our participation was in the half marathon. When we started this, we had 700 runners in 2007, and now we have over 9,000, a staggering 800% growth in the last decade. We're pleased with what we've been able to accomplish over that last decade, but one of the key growth areas that we focused on was that of the woman. In 2018, 56% of our total field were women. It wasn't that long ago that women were not allowed to run in marathons, but that certainly has changed. But we see this in our training groups, and we see this other races that we put on throughout the region, that the women really are kind of the focal point. Well, anecdotally, I think this is the indicator of how women are making healthier choices for their families, better food choices, getting their family to be more active, etc. While many marathon events throughout the country are declining today, we are proud that we have increased competition with our event. But the reason they're declining is increased competition of more events throughout the country. We are pleased with our slow, controlled growth strategy built upon the hospitality and great community partners. It helps fuel our growth. But here are some notable accomplishments worth mentioning. 24% of our field qualified for the elusive Boston Marathon. So far this year, we are the 6th fastest race in the country. We have formed partnerships with the 15 area nonprofits, critical to anchoring our volunteer assignments throughout the race day and race weekend, with over $300,000 raised in the last 10 years. We have new plans to roll out initiatives this fall that will help our nonprofits become even more successful. We developed a kids race 10 years ago that started with 54 kids running a circle around Promenade Park. This year, we were near 600 kids, ages 2 to 12. And I think that really well aligns with our youth initiatives. And finally, our expo has grown from a 10-vendor pack-and pickup in the 3rd floor of Seagate Convention Center to sellout capacity taking over Savage Arena. All of this, however, wouldn't be possible without the shared vision from our public and private business sectors. So when we created this task force 10 years ago, we knew we couldn't affect change in people's lives without this partnership. So 3 years ago, we stood inside these doors of the hospital to announce the partnership and title sponsor with Mercy Health. Since this announcement, our focus on community health has continued to blossom and has gained national attention for this 42-year-old event. Since 2009, we've had the distinct honor of earning either a state or regional championship event by the governing body of running, the Roadrunners Club of America, and it's my pleasure today to announce that we are applying for and making a strong run for the national championship race for 2019. So keeping with our initial focus items of creating an event to fit the size of our region, we also wanted to create an environment that fostered an amateur elite program. Due to the landscape characteristics of Northwest Ohio, it's flat, so people seek out this race for that very reason, for speed, which means elite athletes are now continually seeking us out for that competition. Case in point, we had 4 course records broken this year alone. And our finish times are often faster than larger races, such as Detroit and Columbus, which have fields of over 20,000 participants. On that note, I'd like to introduce Evan Gaynor, a 2016 Olympic Trials participant, multi-time winner of the marathon, high school state champion, and a member of the Dave's Elite Racing Team. But before I acknowledge that, this has become a true community partnership, and we're thankful for the collaboration with Mercy Health. Our vision of helping Northwest Ohio become a fitter, more healthy place to live is being executed daily as the Mercy Health Glass City Marathon has evolved from a small weekend run to a nationally recognized event, closing in on 10,000 participants. Thank you. Let's welcome Evan.
Thank you. I'd just like to say a few words about the event. A lot of people, I've run many races. As Clint mentioned, I ran in the 2016 Olympic trials. Had the fortune to compete there. It was kind of the realization of many years of goal setting and striving for achievement in the sport. I've been running competitively since 2002. I ran in high school at very high level and in college as well. And very few people have the opportunities to compete even at those levels. However, I have been blessed with the opportunity to even compete post-collegiately at an elite level, which even fewer people are able to do. This very unique experience in life has given me some unique perspectives, and one of them is traveling and being able to travel to various corners of the country, to places that I wouldn't otherwise have been taken, and compete in these fine events. That being said, whenever anyone asks me what my absolute favorite event is, I always respond the Mercy Health Glass City Marathon. And you know, I'm not just saying that because I'm speaking to someone from Toledo. I'm saying that because I mean it. There's nothing like racing in the streets of Toledo. Right after my race, I ran the half marathon this year in 2018. It seems like I've fallen into a pattern of running the half and the full every other year. As Clint mentioned, I won the 2017 edition. I won the 2013 edition as well, and was second in 2015. Every other year I've been running the half in between. There's just kind of the way it's been working out. But anyhow, after finishing the half marathon this year, I posted online that there's nothing quite like running in the streets, racing, competing in the streets of Toledo. And I really meant that. And the reason being is because the fans, the volunteers, my fellow participants, my fellow competitors, they're all local folks that I know. They're doctors and nurses at Mercy Health. They're workers at the local restaurants. They're you know, friends, family. It's so unique because I've gone to these other events, and you know, it's thousands of friendly, cheering folks and fans and participants, but you know, they're people that you're never going to see again. Right here in Toledo, it's friends and family. It's people that you know. That being said, Glass City Marathon, it is very, as Clint mentioned, we've been growing this event over the years, and it's been very rewarding to see that in action. The first time I actually participated here in Glass City was in 2005. It was clear back when I was in high school. At that time, it was just a larger kind of local event. There was a few hundred participants. There's really nothing to set it apart. And fast forward to 2018, we're 13 years later, and there certainly is something that sets it apart. The expo is phenomenal. The course is first rate. I've run some of my better times here in Toledo. The organization of the event, the kids runs, just so many different aspects and facets of the event are some of the finest that I've seen. I've been to many events out there. And this is thanks to our wonderful sponsors such as Mercy Health, and that we've been able to grow into an event like this, and it really means a lot to me. You know, having competed in these world-class events, I just ran the Chicago Marathon this last fall, and the experience of standing on that starting line, I was right next to the world record holder in the half marathon, a gentleman from Eritrea. Right in front of me was a world record holder in the marathon, a gentleman by the name of Dennis Kameto. You know, standing right on that starting line in front of 40,000 screaming folks in Chicago. It was something I'll truly cherish forever. That being said, I line up in Toledo, and I get that same charge, that same electrifying atmosphere as I do in a place like Chicago. And it's right here in Toledo, and that's something very special, and I cannot emphasize enough how thankful we are to be here. And whether you're at the very front of the race or at the very back of the race, I hope that each and every one of our participants, volunteers, fans, I hope that everyone realizes just how special what we have is here. Now I'll introduce Rob Simon, the president of the Toledo Roadrunners Club.
Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege for me to be here today representing Toledo Roadrunners. The Toledo Roadrunners Club was founded in 1976 by a small group of local runners. Our mission is to promote running, jogging, walking, physical fitness while being good members of the community. We produce over 20 of our own events a year, with Glass City Marathon being our main event. The club has grown steadily since its inception. However, we experienced substantial better membership growth in the last 5 years to where we are today, which is about 1,600 members. Much of the credit for that growth must be given to the success of the marathon and the Marathon Expo. By the way, the Mercy Health booth is my favorite booth. And yes, I'm just saying that because two of my favorite physical therapists for Mercy Health Fort Meigs, Jeff and Dana, were there to give my hip flexor a quick adjustment before the race. 3 years ago, we added a Kids Expo, which is upstairs from the main expo. Mercy has taken a leadership role in promoting, organizing that expo. Because of Mercy's participation, the kids' participation has grown every year, as well as the number of kids running the Kids Marathon. If you've not been up to the Kids Expo, you should make it a point to go up next year. There are clowns, magicians, various kinds of vendors. It certainly brings out the kid in all of us. The success of the kids event is important because parents can experience the fun with their kids, so the entire family can feel that they're part of that weekend. In case you're wondering, we don't actually make the kids run a marathon. It's only a mile. If I go back a few years ago when we were searching for a title sponsor for the marathon, we knew that we just didn't want to find a benefactor. We were looking for a partner. I'm very pleased to say that with Mercy Health, we found a great partner. Together, I think we've formed one of the strongest teams in the region. As I mentioned earlier, Mercy Health Glass City Marathon is the Roadrunners' marquee event, and it has deep meaning to the club and so many of our members. So we are proud that the name Mercy Health is associated with Glass City Marathon. We greatly look forward to being able to continue to work with the wonderful team at Mercy. Thank you.
Well, for any of you who were at the Glass City Marathon this year, you may know that we weren't able to do the helicopter flyover because of some air traffic control issues. So it's kind of fitting we had the helicopter flyover during the announcement for our title sponsorship for the next 3 years. Just in conclusion, I really want to thank Clint, Rob, and Evan for being the great partners that they are and for joining us for today's announcement. I want to thank all of you for joining us for today's announcement. And I'll just share as registration opens up Labor Day, I'm confident many of you will be registering for the half or the full. And it was a lot of fun handing out medals this year and being able to hold the banner as the winners crossed. But I hope to be able to join you this coming year with the marathon. So I hope to see you all then, and thank you for coming out today.